we got a call that there was 16 inches of water in the basement, and some friends wanted to hook up the sump pump, and I told them where it was, and we got a call about 5 hours later and said the water was 5 and 6 foot deep in the basement. And when we got home, there was 3 foot 5.5 inches of water on my garage door. And it took out my truck and my truck light, my left truck light. You can pick it up, still has water in it.
So this basement here was up through the rafters, the whole bit. So when we came back on Wednesday night, our water level was still at the top of our stairs. And it took from Wednesday through Sunday for it to drain out. It had to drain out on its own because we weren't allowed to come down. It flooded the entire area. We had to evacuate on June 8th. And then on June 10th it crested, filled all these homes with their water. Our home in particular, we had a full basement and we had several inches of water on our main floor.
Well, what I lost in the flood is, I guess the main thing I think about most often is I had a cedar chest that I got in 1960 for Christmas, and had things in there. My wedding dress, my kids' first toy, each one of them, I kept their first real toy. We had 3 inspections. The first one had to be from the Small Business Association, and he's the one that said he's sure it was over the 50%. And then the second one was from the city of Cedar Falls, and the final inspection was from FEMA, and they all came to the same conclusion that it was my choice. If I wanted to try to rebuild, I could try it, but they didn't advise me to because of the foundation. It was just too weak. It looks so small now. I guess it just doesn't look like it was real. Well, it isn't anymore. I guess it's just hard to explain. Not too many words to describe how you feel when you don't have your home. It wasn't real big or anything, but it was where we lived most of our lives. Some plants on a great big table. And then there was a patio door back here. Got my oldest grandson, his footprint over there in 1995 is when we added the patio. My husband passed away a year ago, and I said, I don't know what else to say. I just couldn't go on living here by myself when something like this happened.
When the water came up, many people, I really don't think expected it to be the flood that it ended up being. So many people lost everything. That they just wasn't ready for such a huge impact as what the flood brought about.
2008 has been a really busy season for Nazarene disaster response. We started with the Indiana floods, and we had multiple calls for assistance in Indiana. And just as we were finishing up the Indiana floods, we had flooding in Iowa. And NDR is currently in Iowa helping churches and helping communities that have been affected by the flood. And unfortunate that a lot of the news media has already poured out of Iowa. We're still there. We need teams, we need volunteers, we need donations. It is a critical need. This is probably the largest response and the largest need that we have faced since Hurricane Katrina.
This is the first disaster that I've been faced with as a pastor, and the greatest need first are your immediate needs, food, water, and clothing, but then comes workers and volunteers to help clean up the mess, to make things somewhat livable in order to bring some kind of order to their lives. And then after the work and witness for cleanup, then we truly, what's needed then would be work and witness for like drywall, your skilled workers, plumbing, tapers, construction workers, areas such as that.
We are asking for teams. We are needing teams now as soon as possible to send into Iowa. We know that we're dealing with the weather. As it gets colder, it's going to really begin to hamper how many places we can work. All help is greatly appreciated. The needs are great, But I believe that the volunteers and the church is greater than the needs. And this is a time for us to mobilize to come to the aid of our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ in Iowa.